Welcome to Virtual Job Skills Club. Today, we'll be talking about setting a job goal, grooming, dressing for success, and interpersonal skills. Setting a job goal. There are two types of job goals. The first is an immediate job goal, something that you would be willing to do to immediately make money to be able to meet your financial obligations. The second is a career job goal. Career job goal is a job goal where you're looking to work at a place for a long time. And a place such as that would offer health insurance and other benefits, possibly retirement. If you're unsure of a job goal, you may want to ask your DARS counselor about a vocational evaluation. They're available to assist you in determining your immediate and your career job goals. You can request one from your counselor if you're unable to decide on a job goal. Immediate job goal. This job goal is designed to get you a job now, and then you can set a career job goal later. You need to look at your past history, jobs or work that you've done in the past. You also need to look at your interests, maybe clubs that you belong to or volunteer organizations that you're a part of. All of this shows the experience that you have that you could bring to an employer to entice them to hire you now. Career job goal. Ask yourself, what would you attempt to do if you knew you couldn't fail? This type of job goal is one where the job is long-term, one that will last hopefully up until retirement. So when you're interviewing for a career job, consider your employer as a relationship, not just a means of income, because the people that you work with, you'll be working with for a long time. So you want it to be an environment where you feel at home, where you can be your best and do your best. Vocational evaluations. Vocational evaluations are a useful tool, and they can help you determine your aptitudes. That is, what you may be good at doing. An evaluation is generally a series of tests that dig into your interests, things that you like to do. An evaluation may show you a career path that you may never have considered. So if you're unsure of your job goals, whether they be immediate or long-term career job goals, just ask your counselor to make an appointment for a vocational evaluation, and it will help you determine what you might like to do for a job goal. Homework. Please email me, Tim Buchanan, the answers to the following questions. Email me at Timothy, TIMOTHY, .Buchanan, BUCHANAN, at DARS, DARS, .Virginia, VIRGINIA.gov. Make a list of your possible job goals. If you would, email me an immediate job goal. Also, email me a career job goal, something that you think you'd like to do for a long time. Also, if you've worked in the past, list 3 jobs that you've had. Would you like to continue to work at those 3 jobs? Write down the job and then circle whether you would like to, would not like to work at that particular job again. Now let's talk about grooming. Grooming is not dressing. Grooming is cleanliness and hygiene. How do you make sure that you're clean? Well, when you're washing, do 10 scrubs with a washcloth with soap per armpit and personal parts and toes. Lift skin folds and scrub them as well. Rinse 3 times for at least 60 seconds. Deodorize or powder moist areas. When washing your hands, be sure to rotate the fingertips in a circular motion in one hand into the palm of the other one. And use a nail brush, and that washes underneath the nails and around the cuticles. People notice small details about your cleanliness and can make a character judgment rather quick on whether you would be a good fit to represent their company.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com. I'm going to run through a quick 7-step grooming guide. Often women notice little details that men tend to forget about. So let's get to it. Number 1, your fingernails. Yes, people do notice. Keep them clean, keep your nails short. If you work with your hands all day and your hands get dirty, well, there are a lot of cleansers that are gritty, so they'll help you out. Keep your hands clean. That brings us to number 2, moisturize your hands. If you live in a cold climate, your hands will tend to get drier. There are a lot of unscented moisturizer out there, so check it out. Number 3, ears. Spend a lot of time on cell phones and hooked up to MP3 players, and ears are often forgotten, so take care of them. Keep them clean. Number 4, fresh breath and white teeth. Oh, you already had that killer smile, so make it even better. Keep your breath fresh, carry around some mints in your pocket, and keep your teeth clean. If you have to brush your teeth at lunch, go for it. Number 5, white teeth. So you can check out a lot of products at the pharmacy that are available, or you could see your dentist. Especially if you smoke or drink a lot of caffeine, you might need to brighten them up a little bit. Number 6, moisturize your face. It'll help alleviate the tightness and dryness you feel after shaving. If you can find one with a sunscreen, you're doing yourself a favor. So check it out. Look for the SPF on the bottle. Finally, number 7, smell good. Don't overdo it with the cologne though. Your coworkers will be thankful. You don't want to leave a trail of scent everywhere you go, especially in the office. There are a lot of new product lines available for men nowadays, so check it out. You might just find something that you like.
Homework. Please email me, Tim Buchanan, the answers to the following questions. Email them to Timothy, Timothy, .Buchanan, BUCHANAN, at DARS, DARS, .Virginia, VIRGINIA, .gov. From the video that we just watched, please email me the answer to why grooming is important. And then, if you would write down the 7 elements that you should groom that were mentioned in the video.
Dress for success. Your attire is one of the first things that an interviewer sees. And we know that first impressions are made in less than 15 seconds. So how can you guarantee that you make that positive first impression? Well, I'm here to tell you and to show you. First, why is attire even important? I'm sure many of you are thinking that. What matters is what's on the inside, right?
Heck, I'm not even applying for a job at Calvin Klein. I just want to be an accountant.
Well, it all comes down to perception versus reality. Here's what I mean. College is all about reality. Your grade is never contingent upon what you wear to the test. I mean, if you get all the questions right on the test, but you wore your pink pajama pants and an I'm with stupid t-shirt, you still get an A. But the real world is about perception and reality. I'm not saying it's right, but I am saying that's the way it is. If you want to make a great first impression, you need to make sure that you dress for success on a job interview, at a career fair, and even on an informational interview. Now, that being said, what do you wear to make sure that you nail the perception part of the equation? For an interview, it's pretty easy. You wear a suit. Now, you may be saying to yourself,
Brad, the company is business casual. Don't you think I should wear that?
the answer is no. If you think wearing a suit might be overkill for a certain company, check with your career center. They should have some great insight. Now, to answer the question that all of you are thinking, what kind of suit should I buy? My advice is to keep it pretty conservative when it comes to the interview suit. You want to have a dark color suit along with a pretty basic shirt. Gentlemen, when it comes time for the tie, I recommend keeping that fish tie in the closet, along with your tie that, I don't know, plays Christmas carols. Women, you can wear a pantsuit or a skirt suit. Just make sure the skirt isn't too short. Remember, you're going to an interview, not to a club. Here are a few more tips to make sure you're good to go. Clean and polish your shoes. Iron your clothes. Go with a well-groomed hairstyle. Freshen your breath. But don't chew gum. Keep the cologne and perfume to a minimum. Cover up any tattoos and remove any extra piercings. Stay conservative with jewelry and accessories. Bring a padfolio or a briefcase. The key here is to not draw attention to yourself. You don't want someone to remember you as tongue stud guy or flip-flop girl. You want them to remember you based on all the great stuff you said during the interview. Good luck.
Let's review dress for success and what we just learned in the video. Perception equals reality in the workplace. What you wear nails the perception part of the equation. A suit or a pantsuit is appropriate even if it's business casual, because it elevates the respect of both parties involved, the prospective employee and the employer. So what do you wear? Well, for men, a conservative suit with a conservative tie. You don't want any conversation pieces for a tie. You want something basic. For women, a pantsuit or skirt and blouse. But watch the skirt length, because you're not going to a club or out dancing. You're there to get a job. Some more tips. Clean and polish your shoes. Iron your shirts for a neat appearance. Freshen your breath, but no gum, because the sound can be distracting. Cover up any tattoos or piercings you may have, out of respect for the employer. Remember, you represent their business. You might like a certain football team and have a tattoo on your neck of that football team. But what if you were to go to a customer's home? Or what if a customer comes into that place of business and they don't like that team? Do you think that you'll be representing the business and putting your best foot forward with that? Also, bring in a padfolio or a briefcase. Never go in empty-handed. Always have something to offer. The key is not to draw attention to yourself. Homework for Dress for Success. Please email me, Tim Buchanan, at the following email address: Timothy, TIMOTHY, .Buchanan, BUCHANAN, at DARS, DARS, .Virginia, VIRGINIA.gov, the answers to the following questions. How should you dress for an interview or a meeting with an employer for an application? Should it be casual or should it be formal? Please check one. And now, if you would, write down a brief sentence or two on why you chose the answer that you did.
Hi, I'm Katie Roney with Expert Village. We are discussing how to have a successful interview. First impressions. Right off the bat, as a candidate, you've got 15 seconds to basically make up their mind on whether or not you're going to be professional enough for this environment. Hi, Phil. How are you doing?
Hey.
Not exactly the start you wanted. Didn't wait for me to shake my hand, just came in and sat down immediately. Not real sure of himself. That's not the way you would want to do it. You would always want to come in and don't be seated until they invite you to take a seat. Always offer your hand. Men, usually the women are asked to offer their hand first in a handshake. That's kind of an old tradition, but you can always follow it if you need to fall back on something. Most importantly, be pleasant right at the start. Smile at them. You know, you want to be there. You want to talk to them. It's okay. Be goofy. Be silly. That's all fine. It's all a good impression. And it's your only one, so do what you can.
Interpersonal skills. Let's review. You have 15 seconds to make that first impression. So make those 15 seconds count. Because after 15 seconds has passed, the other person has already made up their mind on whether they like you or not. Handshakes. Handshakes have recently changed with the outbreak of COVID-19. So now handshakes can be replaced with a fist bump or an elbow bump. The key is this: be sure to mimic the other person's behavior. Use common manners. Say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please, and thank you. When you enter a room, don't be seated until you're invited to take a seat. And the last one is the easiest one. Smile. You'd be surprised at how far that will go in making a good first impression. Tips for being personable. Watch everyone, including yourself, body language. If a person has their arms folded like this, they're probably not very approachable because the arms become a barrier between you and the other person. So watch your own body language and that of the other person. Find common ground with the other person. A lot of time that requires an exploration of the other person's interests. When in Rome, do as the Romans do by mimicking behaviors. Obviously, if someone exhibits a certain behavior, that behavior is okay by them. So you could simply copy their behavior. And remember this: respect. If you want it, you've got to give it. Here are some other tips for being more personable. They come from the Dale Carnegie book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Principle 1, become genuinely interested in other people. Principle 2, we've covered before. Smile. It doesn't cost you anything. Principle 3, remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest sound that they've ever heard. When a baby is born, the first word they understand is their own name, because every time they hear their own name, they're usually getting something. Might be getting changed, might be getting fed, but they're getting something. So a person responds to their name automatically. And remember that as a tip. If you're talking to someone and their attention seems to be drifting away from you, start the next sentence with their name, and they'll automatically perk up and look at you when you're speaking. Principle number 4, be a good listener. And the way to do that is to encourage the other person to talk about themselves. What's the one thing that people love to talk about? Themselves. So encourage them to talk about themselves. Principle 5, talk in terms of the other person's interests. Principle 6, make sure to make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. Homework, interpersonal skills. Please email me, Tim Buchanan, at Timothy, Timothy, .Buchanan, BUCHANAN, at DARS, DARS, Virginia, VIRGINIA.gov, the answers to the following questions. What would you ask a person you never met to start a conversation that may lead to them telling you about a job? Number 1, ask the other person what they do for a living. Number 2, ask them for a job. Please check only one answer. Number 2, what is the sweetest sound that a person can hear? Telling another person why you need a job? Start every sentence that you speak with the other person's name. Please check only one answer. And last but not least, what do you have to do to get respect? Demand it or give it? Please check one and email me.